This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Race is a concept of a human classification scheme based on visible features, including eye color, skin color, the texture of the hair, and other facial and bodily characteristics. Through these features, humans are categorized into distinct groups of population, and this is enhanced by the fact that the characteristics are entirely inherited. Across the globe, debate on race has dominated for centuries. This is mainly due to the resultant discrimination needed on the basis of these differences. Consequently, a lot of controversy surrounds the issue of race socially and politically in the scientific world. According to many sociologists, race is more of a modern idea rather than a historical one. This is based on overwhelming evidence that in ancient days, physical differences mattered least. Most divisions resulted from status, religion, language, and even class. Most controversy originates from the need to understand whether the beliefs associated with racial differences have any genetic or biological basis. Classification of races is mainly done in reference to the geographical origin of the people. The Africans are indigenous to the African continent, Caucasian are natives of Europe, the more incredible Asian represents the Mongols, Micronesians, and Polynesians, Amerindians are from the American continent, while the Australoid are from Australia. However, the standard definition of race regroups these categories in accordance with skin color as black, white, and brown. The groups described above can then fall into either of these skin color groupings. It is possible to believe that since the concept of race was a social description of genetic and biological differences, then the biologists would agree with these assertions. However, this is not true due to several facts that biologists considered. First, race, when defined in line with who resides in what continent, is highly discontinuous as it was clear that different races were sharing a continent. Secondly, there is continuity in genetic variations even in the socially defined race groupings. This implies that even in people within the same race, there were distinct racial differences, hence begging the question of whether the socially defined race was actually a biologically unifying factor. Biologists estimate that 85% of total biological variations exist within a unitary local population. This means that the differences among a racial group, such as Caucasians, are much more than those obtained from the difference between Caucasians and Africans. In addition, biologists found out that the various races were not distinct but rather shared a single lineage as well as a single evolutionary path. Therefore, there is no proven genetic value derived from the concept of race. Other scientists have declared that there is absolutely no scientific foundation linking race, intelligence, and genetics. Still, a trait such as skin color is entirely independent of other traits such as eye shape, blood type, hair texture, and other such differences. This means that it cannot be correct to group people using a group of features. What is clear to all is that all human beings in the modern day belong to the same biological subspecies referred to biologically as Homo sapiens sapiens. It has been proven that humans of different races are at least 4 times more biologically similar in comparison to the different types of chimpanzees, which would ordinarily be seen as looking alike. It is clear that the original definition of race in terms of the external features of facial formation and skin color did not capture the scientific fact that shows that the genetic differences that result from these changes account for an insignificant proportion of the gene controlling the human genome. Although it is clear that race is not biological, it remains authentic. It is still considered an essential factor that gives people different levels of access to opportunities. The most visible aspect is the enormous advantages available to white people. This cuts across many sectors of human life and affects all humanity regardless of knowledge of existence. This being the case, I find it difficult to understand the source of significant social tensions across the globe based on race and ethnicity. There is enormous evidence of people being discriminated against on the basis of race. In fact, Countries such as the United States have legislation guarding against discrimination on the basis of race in different areas. The findings define a stacked reality that all human beings must respect. The idea of viewing persons of a different race as being inferior or superior is unfounded and goes against scientific findings. Consequently, these facts offer a source of unity for the entire humanity. Humanity should understand the need to scrap racial boundaries not only for the sake of peace but also for fairness. Just because someone is white does not imply that he/she is closer to you than the black one. This is because it could even be true that you have more in common with the black one than the white one. This essay on the nature of race and ethnicity was written and submitted by a student just like you. The Ivy Panda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one, on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for.